if you want to be able to have above average return on the market, to beat S&P 500, NASDAQ, or whatever index you're following, you need to be able to find other information than just reading correctly an income statement, a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, just knowing some financial ratio like return on invested capital, net debt to EBITDA, and so on. You will need to be able to find good information, to find a lot of information, to be able to seize opportunity when they present to yourself. Because generally, when you have an opportunity, you may not see it in income statement. You may have a moment where you don't have growth anymore in the company, but the fact that you read some correct document and you did some great research will allow you to know that, okay, maybe you didn't have any growth during this period, but it was to prepare some future growth. So in this video, we'll focus on this, and I will show you 4 sources of information that you can get to do better analysis of companies, which is out of just looking at the numbers, just looking at what everybody is actually already looking, okay? So when you will do your research, you always need to have a goal, okay? Don't read blindly. Try to focus on what you want to discover, okay? Don't just look for what you want to see, because this is a big problem. You don't want to look for what you want to see. You want to look for what you want to discover, because I don't know, if you want to see that the company will grow in the future, you will find every excuses about what you will read that the company will grow. It's a normal bias that investors have. So you need really to have a goal to know what kind of information you want to look at, okay? If a company is in your portfolio, you want to know that your thesis is still intact. Or if your thesis is still intact, if it's not intact, maybe it will be a good moment to sell or to change the position to another company. If everything is going according to the plan, you can keep. If it's a company that you are studying actually, that you may want to invest, that the numbers look good, but now you want to understand more the business, you want to get some basic information about it. Like, what do they sell? To who? How? Why will people buy from them and not from competitors? Who is the CEO? Since when? Do a SWOT analysis, understand the risk in the market, what are the main competitors in this market. And for this, to do all those analyses, I will show you the sources that I use. The first one, and I think it's the most obvious one, but trust me, really a lot of people don't even pay attention to them. It's the 10K and the 10Q. So the 10K is the annual report filing to the SEC, and the 10Q is a quarterly report. Here you have different areas you want to see. You want to understand the operational risk and the market risk, okay? Because the operational risk is more inside the company, market risk is for the whole market. And also the management discussion and analysis. This is a gold mine, okay? This area generally, most of the time is item 7. It's in the part 2 of the 10K. You really have some great information. So let's say you want to search this. The best way is to type the name of the company you want, for example, and you type investor relation. So let's say you want for Lam Research, you type in Google Lam Research investors, you go here on the website, and here you want to go to investor, you want financial SEC filings. In type, you will want, let's say, annual return for the 10K, quarterly for the 10Q. So you want the annual, and here you have all the history of every year. So now it will be the last one. You can click and open it in a new window or download it. Here is the face of the document, how it looks. You have 153 pages. You don't need to read 153 pages, okay? You can if you want, but not really interesting. You have something that you don't really need. I think was the important one. The part 1 is pretty important. The business, especially when you just discover the company, okay? That you don't really know about the company, you're just discovering it. Part 1 is interesting because you have the business. So here they will explain you a bit how the business is working, the different products, in which sectors there are, blah, blah, blah. You will have the risk factors, okay? What are all the risks that the company is facing? Here, they will list every single risk that you can possibly imagine. Some are good, some you don't really care. You don't care at all. So you need to be selective on this, but you will learn about all the risk, okay? Everything, the proprieties and so on. But mostly it's item 1 business, item 1A, risk factor. Like these things are the most important. In part 2, you want to understand the item 7, the management discussion and analysis of financial condition and result of operation. Here you will have the summary. You will understand from what comes the growth, where they invest. If they do investment, where it goes. You will understand why the revenue is from different type of area. How do they manufacture? Where they manufacture? What kind of things they do? You will understand all of this by reading this document. And the item 7 is really important, this management thing, okay? So the MD&A, this is something you want to read, okay? Because you have a great information, okay? So you understand where the things are going. The 10Q, generally you can read as well the management discussion and analysis. It's interesting, when you want to follow a bit the company. Generally the 10Q is more to follow what the company is doing rather than discovering some brand new thing. You can of course listen to the not the podcast, but the conference call that you have every quarter. This is something interesting to get information, and read as well the letter to shareholders and so on to understand everything better. But this is the main thing, like really. If you don't read this to understand a business, you may get out of a lot of information, you may miss a lot. To help you to miss less information, maybe I will do the video about this. If it interests you, let me know in the comment section. But AI can really help you. I have some few prompts, some few ways that I use AI to help me with 10K, to not have to read all of it, but to keep all the information that I need from it. So let me know in the comment sections if you would like how I analyze this with AI, because it really makes me gain a lot of time. The source number 2 is social media like Twitter, Substack, Patreon, Seeking Alpha, Super Investors. For example, on Seeking Alpha, when you type the name of a company, you have a part which is analysis. When you go in this analysis part, you may have a lot of people just giving you some analysis, their full analysis. For example, you can go here, let's say you want to do Lam Research. You go here, you have the summary, here analysis, and in the analysis you have plenty of people, some doing buy, strong buy, hold, sell, okay? You have a lot of information. You need to read them, not all of them, but read them and you will have some nice things. You always have with you your notebooks, and with your notebook you can write what you like, what you don't like. You can write some information that maybe you weren't not searching for this, but it's something that stays in your mind. It's interesting to do this. With Twitter, you can as well use X Twitter. How do you do it? You go in search. You put, for example, here it was Lam Research, so you put the ticker of the company. Here they have this trading view thing. And now you can have some people talking about it. You can have some discussion about it. You may not have a lot of interesting things here, but sometimes you will find something very interesting, something that give you some information that you want to have or something like this. So it's interesting just to type the name of the company in the search and have something. You can as well type the name, full name. Sometimes you will have different things. And same, you can have some posts, you can have some really interesting insight coming from here. Another one will be Substack. You go on Substack, you have a research tool, and you type the name of the company in the research tool. You go on post, and same, on post, you may have some really interesting posts, some people that will do a full research analysis on the company, and you may have some good information. You may as well have nothing from it. I'm sorry, like you will not have 100% of the things that you will read will be useful. Probably not, but you may have some things that, oh, I didn't think about it. Oh, I didn't see it with this view. I didn't see it like this. I think, oh, maybe this plus this really makes sense, or now I understand more why they focus on this or why they focus on this. You will get a lot of information like this. For most of them, it will be for free. Sometimes you will need to pay, but it's interesting and you have plenty of things. You will have some Patreon as well, it's a bit like Substack. Seeking Alpha, I told you. Super Investors. If you're following some Super Investors that I Filings 13F, some of them, you know the holdings that they have, but some of them, more than the holdings, they do in their annual shareholders letter or their quarterly letters, they explain you why they bought this company. For example, Bill Ackman with Pershing Square, he have his annual report and he's explaining in his in the report. So it's here, he have it in investment manager report. Here you pass, and he will start explaining just here, new equity position, Uber. And here you have all his thesis about Uber to understand why he thinks Uber will be interesting. Here you have it with Brookfield Corporation. You have all his investment thesis about this. I'm not saying that you read this and then you know perfectly about the company and you're able to invest, but it's a good way to start. It's a good way to understand the business better. So this is the one that I'm using because you really have some great people sharing analysis, a lot of time for free. So go ahead, like we have internet now, so let's use it correctly. Source number 3 that I use is YouTube podcast. For example, try to find CEO, CFO, COO, people working for the company or people working with the company, interviews. Some of them do, or people which are really recognized in the industry, maybe some professor or I don't know, but very important figure in one industry. Listen to the interview. You will understand better the market. You will understand better all of this. For example, you can have look for, here I was listening to an interview of, I think it was Jayshree Ullal. She is the CEO of Arista Network. So she did an interview with Morgan Stanley. See, you don't have a lot of view in this. Not a lot of people are watching them, but it helps you to understand better the mentality of the company, to understand better the view of the CEO, why the CEO is competent, or maybe you will feel that the CEO is not competent. The CEO is totally out of the market and doesn't understand any shit. So it's important to see this. You can really get some great information. So you can have this from YouTube. You can look on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You may have things. You can type as well the name of the company in Apple Podcast, in YouTube, whatever. You may have some people doing research and doing analysis on this. So instead of reading here, you will be able to listen. And it's as well a great source of information. The source number 4 that I use is Morningstar because I'm using Interactive Broker. And in Interactive Broker, you have a Morningstar review in it. And this is really, really useful. So with the Morningstar one from Interactive Broker, this is how it works. You can type any name of the company, let's say Arista Network. You go here, you will go in stock. And here you have something written fundamentals. You click here, you will have a lot of things, but you have this one, Morningstar. You can click here and you have the whole report of Morningstar. It's in analyst rating. You have all the capital allocation, the mode, the trend of the mode, the fair values that they give, blah, blah, blah. You have the bear says, bull says with the date when it was uploaded. You have the full analyst note, okay? You have the business strategy and outlook, economic mode. You have a full note about the economic note, the fair value, scenario, risk uncertainty, capital allocation. You really have a full note here. You can download the report in PDF. But generally here, I'm looking mostly about the economic mode to understand better the mode, to understand why they think they have a good mode, a wide mode, a narrow mode, or sometimes no mode. Here you don't have it for every company. It's mostly with the big company, but you have some great insight coming from there. So this is all the sources that I'm using, okay, to find some great information about the company, to find some valuable things that will help me to decide if I want to have this in my portfolio or if I don't. And I really advise you to do those research because you cannot rely only on numbers if you want to invest. You may have some company with not extremely great numbers, but performing very well because you understand all of the things that are here. So let me know what you think about it. Are you doing it? Do you have any other way to research this information? I would be curious to if you can share it with us. Like this, we can all grow together. And I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.